So today topic is a FLD field reference file. Okay. So what is a field reference file and why we need to use a field reference file? Okay. So just take an example that use case. Okay, use case. So I have some banking application. Okay, so banking application. So in this I have a several department called. So one is a normal saving. Okay, saving account department and current account department, and have a credit card department and have a debit card department, and also having the some home loan. Okay, so totally you have the some five departments. Okay, so whenever the new customer, so when the new customer wanted to open the saving account, so he, so just take an example of this saving account. Okay, it is a saving account scenario. Saving, so saving account scenario. So whenever the customer wanted to open the new saving account in my banking, so he has to provide, he have to provide the first name and last name and address, then Aadhaar number and mobile number and some extra. Okay, so what is the minimum amount he maintain and address proofs, all those things. So the same, whenever the customer wanted to take, okay, so whenever the customer wanted to take home loan, okay, whenever he wanted to take the home loan or something, again he have to provide the name, first name and last name and address and mobile number. Okay, mobile number or some pan card here. Okay, pan card number. If you observe here, for the saving account, let's assume that saving account file name is SAVPF. Okay, saving account file name SAVPF. And for the credit card file, CRDPF. Okay, physical file. And for the home loan, you can take the file home PF. Okay, so it is a home PF. When you observe this, the save file have the first name, last name and address and Aadhaar number and mobile number. Okay. So here whenever the customer wanted to open the new saving account, he have to provide the first name, last name, address and Aadhaar number for the saving account. These fields can be declared into this save PF physical file. The save PF is will be the physical file. There we declare these fields to get the information for the customer. Okay, so they in the for the credit cards also you have a one file called CRDPF, and there also you have the first name, last name, address and mobile number. And whenever the customer wanted to take the new credit card, he have to provide the first name, last name, address and mobile number, and these fields will be declared in the CRDPF. Okay, so you have another file that is a home loan, home PF. Okay, so there also you have the field called name, first name, last name and address and mobile number. So whenever the customer wanted to take the home loan, he have to provide this information. These fields will be declared into the home PF physical file. Okay, if you observe here, there is a common field called first name, last name, address. Okay, here also common field the first name. Here also common field first name, last name and address. Here also common field first name, last name and address. So when you go with the save PF and the credit card CRD PF and home PF, you have a common fields that is the first name, last name and address. Okay, so that is fine. So there is have a common fields, that is fine. So this banking application I built on 1995. Okay, somewhere in the 1995 this application was developed, and these files was created at that time. And that time the first name length will be the some 10 years, last name will be the 10 attributes, and address is only 20A. Okay, so for this also the same 10A and 10A, and here also 20A. And here also same, you declared the 10A and 10A and here also 28. So these are the some common fields. The first name, last name, and address is a common fields. Okay. So now in the 2024, so I wanted to change my first name from the 10A to, or I wanted to change the my last, the first name will be the same length and 10A only. But last name I wanted to change from the 15A, and address I wanted to change to the 30A. Okay. So in this case, what you have to do? So you have to change the attribute, you have to change the length from 10 to 15A, and address also 20 to 30A. Again, you have to go here and change the last name from 15A, and address is a 30A. Again, you have to go to the home PF, and there you have to change the 15A, and you have to change it to the 30A. Okay. Here you are making the changes in the three files. Okay. You are touching six fields indirectly. Okay. Six fields you are touching. Here two fields in the save PF, and here also CRDPF you are touching two fields, and home PF you are touching in the two fields. Okay, totally six fields you are changing, and three files are impacting. So is there any way, because you there is some common fields are there, and I'm using those common fields in the multiple physical files in my application. So in future, if I wanted to change any of those repeated field, it is impacting on the many files, because that field is a common field. It might be used for the many other files in the my application. So is there any way that I can avoid these impactness of the multiple files? Instead of that, can I go with the one file? There I'll make all the repeated fields into there I'll maintain all the repeated fields, and I can refer that field length from that file. Okay. So is there any way? So that solution is for that. So there is a, so you can make one field reference file. Okay. Fi field reference file. So what is a field reference file? Field reference file also the physical file, but field reference file will not have the any data. Okay, only the fields information. There's a field reference file. Just take an example that REFPF01. Okay, field FLD REF01. So make a file name as a the field reference file. So FLDREF01. So this is a field reference file. So here you can make the what are the repeated fields you are using for your application. And my case, I am using the first name, and this is a repeated field, and last name, and this is also repeated field. Okay, and address, and this is also repeated field. These three fields are the repeated fields for the my application. These fields can be used in the multiple physical files in the my physical my application. Okay. So you can declare the repeated fields in the field reference file. This is also called as a physical file only. So now take an example. These first name, last name, and address can be used for the save PF because of a save account, and CRDPF for credit card, and for the home PF. Okay. So you can refer this first name, last name, address, length from the field reference file, instead of declaring the length again in the save PF and credit PF and home loan PF. Okay. So in future, if you wanted to increment the length, okay, for last name will be the 15, or address will be the 30. So you no need to touch of these physical file structure. Okay, you no need to touch. Okay, you can just go and change the field reference file, and it will be impact on the all other these files, because you are referring the length and attribute from the field reference file. So this is way you can maintain your repeated fields in the one file, and instead of declaring the length and data type again and again, you can just refer those values, those attributes from the field reference file. In the real-time applications or real-time project, so they'll make a some one field reference file. So that field reference file usually have the what are the common fields which you used in the multiple physical files. Okay, so let's do a demo on this. So we'll go with demo. So if you want, we can first discuss with the, So what is the field level attribute? The field name, length and data type along with the optional text description and column heading specified for the each field and keywords used for field. So these are the field level attributes. This we discussed and we have done the demo. And for field reference file, a field reference file or simply reference file in the AS400 is a physical file that does not contain any data and keeps only the field description, that is a data type, length and the information called the text or all those things. And DDS keyword, how you can refer? You are saying that here you can refer, but how you can refer? We have a some file level keywords called ref and field level keywords called refFLD. Okay, so by using these two keywords you can refer the field and you can refer from that file. Okay, so here is DDS keyword and ref and refFLD allows to refer to a field description in an existing file. Okay, it is an example of field reference file. Here you can see I make a employee name, number and address because these are the some common fields. Okay, I'll be used for the multiple applications. And here I'm making, I wanted to refer these values from this file. Okay, here it is a emp ref and I wanted to refer the length and data type and address from this file. Okay, here I am doing the ref. So to say that from which file you wanted to refer and which field you wanted to refer. Okay, so this is the example scenario and we'll do the exercise. In our case we have a employee file, right? So in our case we have a employee file. What we will do? Okay, so wait a minute. From the beginning. Okay, in our case we have a employee file, right? Employee file. Okay, so I wanted to create yesterday you created salary file. Okay, so today I wanted to create another file. How we can take example of employee salary file we created another. So name, number and okay, so we'll create one field reference file. Okay, we'll create one field reference file called some emp ref. Okay, here we can make the emp name and emp number and emp address. So because these are the fields I use multiple times in the my other physical file, so we'll create another two physical files called emp det detail file and emp det01 file and detail file det02 file. Okay, and the employee for emp detail 01 and detail 02 will create these two files. Here also we'll declare the emp name and emp number and emp address and emp mobile number. And here you can take emp name and emp number and emp address. Here emp some pan or other number something. Okay, here we'll make some details and here also we'll use some details. In the both the files emp number and emp name and address will be the same. Here also emp name, number and address will be the same. So what we will do, instead of declaring the length and data type, we'll refer that emp name, number and address from the emp ref file. Okay, emp ref file, so that you can understand how it can be used. Let's do that demo. So let's open mocha tn5250. Just continue track 20869469 enter. Okay, so go with the work mbr pdm. So what we have to do, we have to create one file emp ref. Okay, in that we'll use the emp name, emp number, emp address. Just take a f6 emp ref. I wanted to make it is a physical file. Okay, and f10 emp ref and here source type and member and source member. Okay, enter. enter. IPPF, enter. So it's a record format or EMP REFR. I'm taking the record format, and here EMP name, and that is a 10 length. I'm just giving 10A attributes, enter. And here EMP number, I'll make how much length, it is a 5, yes, 0, and enter. And here what I will do, EMP address, and length is a, I'm making 20 length, okay, 20, yeah, enter, enter. Okay, so I'm not doing anything, I just declare the record format. I use the three fields, okay, I declare the three fields. Just file it and compile the EMP REF 14 F4 and F10. So yesterday someone asked how we can, so because yesterday we have some default member called salary. So where I have a requirement, I don't want the default member name as the first member name as a salary. The first name member itself I wanted to change. In that case, you can use this member if it is desired. Okay, it is a star file. Instead of star file, you can start from here. You can mention the January here. Next, you can go with the February and March and like that. Okay, while creating the file itself, you can override the default member. Okay, so if you don't want to make the default member as the same as a file name, or you wanted to be make the different name, and you can change here itself. Okay, so for now we are not going with the member concept, we are in the field reference file. I just creating. Okay, I created. Okay, is a field reference file is created. Now I wanted to create the two files, that empdet01, empdet02. Okay, let's go with the F6. So empdet01, and it is a pf physical file, enter, enter. IPPF, enter. So here I wanted to refer, first I wanted to refer the some fields from the EMP REF, because there is a EMP name, EMP number, EMP address. Those three fields are common and commonly used fields. That is why I made a one field reference file called EMP REF. Whenever you wanted to use a EMP name, number and address, you should not declare the length and data type. Instead of that, you have to refer those fields from the EMP REF file. So for that, first you have to tell the system and where your common fields are there. Okay, so for that, in the file level you have to mention REF, my common fields are in EMP REF file. Okay, REF in a sense the reference file, enter. Okay, so and then you can go with the record format name, empdet01 or enter. So now here I'll use the name. Okay, instead of EMP name I'm using the name. Okay, because for if I use EMP name, you might thought the field names also should be same, but field names can be anything. Okay, so now I don't want to instead of only name, e name. Okay, e name in a sense employee name I'll give. Okay, e name means employee name. So here, instead of giving the length and data type, I wanted to refer this length and data type from the EMP REF field, because EMP REF having the employee name, and that is having the length and data type. You have to refer that EMP name from the EMP REF file, this e name attributes. Okay, for that what you can do, REF FLD reference field EMP name. Okay, EMP name, enter. So here it is a referencing, because you have to tell the system this is the reference field. For that you have a REF here, right? You have to just mention the R here or enter. Okay, so for the U name, for the E name, you are not given the length and data type. Instead of that, you are taking that length and data type from the EMP REF file. There is a EMP name field. Okay, for E number also will do same. For E number, and I'll refer, and here REF FLD called EMP number, enter. Okay, so for another field, E address in the employee address, there you go, REF FLD EMP is the address, enter. Okay, it is also reference field, you should give the R, enter. Okay, so you are not given any length and data type for this field. So additionally I'll use EMP E MOB mobile number. For this I don't have this field in the my field reference file, so that's why I should mention the length and data type. And some EMP sal, you can give ESAL. ESAL means employee salary 10 S. Okay, so these are the five fields, and out of these five fields I have a three fields are common. For these three fields I referred from the EMPREF, because EMPREF is my field reference file. It is having the common fields called EMP name, number and address. I am referring those fields from the EMPREF file. So that is why I have not mentioned the length and data type. Instead I just given the R and given the field name and which field attributes I am referring for this field, and which field attribute I am referring for this, and which is the field I am referring for this. And for this I am referring the EMP name, and for E number I am referring the EMP number. From where you are referring, I am referring from EMPREF. How the system understanding these fields are referring from EMPREF? Because in the file level you use the REF keyword, and there you mention the file name, so that the system understand. So there is a EMPREF file. It is already having the three fields, that EMP name, number and address, and you are referring that fields. Okay, and just to file it. So an EMPD14 compile it. Okay, so you can go with the UD update data, and there you can see the automatically you got the length, right? EMP name and number. Here I'll give the EMP name Ram and one, and address. Take F3, enter, and see the run query for EMPDET, RQ, enter, enter, see. So these are the two records you insert. Even though you are not given the length and data type, but still it is getting. How you are getting? You are referring the fields, right? So that is why it getting. Okay. So now same thing, same file, another file I am going to create, that EMPDET02. Okay. So EMPDET02, and here also physical file, enter, and IPPF. And here also I wanted to refer the fields from EMPREF, REF reference field, and EMPREF, enter. And here, or the record format EMPDET02 or, enter. And here I wanted to take the just name. I will take this, this is a reference field, and I referring from the REF FLD, and EMP name, and next number I am referring from REF FLD, and EMP number. Same what we have done in the earlier case, we are doing the same thing. Okay, REF FLD EMP number I am referring. And next for ADD RES address, I'll just go with this reference, and EMP REF, sorry, REF FLD reference field EMP address. Okay, so next I'll just use EMPGEN gender. So for this I don't have this field in the my field reference file. I'll take one here. Okay, and EMPDEPT department. For this also I don't have a number. I don't have this field in the my field reference, so that is why I given the sum length. Okay, here in out of 5 I have a three common fields, name, number and address. I'm not given the length and data type. Instead of that I'm referring these field length and data types from the EMPREF file. And from the EMPREF file, what are the fields you are referring? For name I am referring the EMP name, for number I am referring the EMP number, for address I am referring the EMP address. So just file this one. File means it is a save, and go and compiling this EMPDET02. So it's compiled. Now you insert the data UD, and EMP name I am giving the RAM, and EMP number 1, and address, and main, and department is a dev, and Krish number 2, and department is a testing. F3 enter and just go and do the run query. RQ enter. Here also you can see the two records are inserted. Okay, so now what we will do, we'll go that field reference file and we'll do the some changes. Then let's see what will happen. Instead of address 30A is there, right? I'll go 20A. Instead of that I can give the 30A. Okay, 30A, and I'll add the some column heading for this. COLHDG column heading employee address. Okay, for this also COLHDG column heading you can give employee name. Okay, and here I'll give the COLHDG column heading employee NUMBR number. Just F3 enter, and employee referring I am 14 compiling, and this is also compiling. So I have done the changes in EMP-REF. If you do the RQ run query, so you are getting this one. It is a field difference file, that is why it is not having any data. So now I am going to RQ and employee department. Then let's see, this is not impacted. So now what I will do, I'll just do the change PF on the DET01. Okay, CHGPF, change PF, this one, and library is a BU DDY body 181, and source file is a QDD SSRC2 and BU DDY body 181. Enter, enter. So now do the run query on this. See, okay. So you actually done the changes in where? Okay, to understand that again, I have another file that empd. First, I'll tell you what I have done. So first, actually, I have done the changes in where? I've done the changes in the EMP-REF. In the EMP-REF, I added the column heading. I made that EMP address as a 30A. Okay, so now I am referring these fields into the what are the files? Two files, that EMPDET01 and EMPDET02. I am referring these three fields. Okay. So now what I have done in the EMPDET01, to apply these changes, I am not went to the source. I am not done the. I have not done any changes. Even I am not touched the source. Okay, and not even taken the option 2 against the EMPDET01. So what I have done, just I done the change PF, CHGPF, change PF I have done. So when I done the change PF, it picks the so latest changes. So from where it is picking, it is picking from the EMP-REF file. Okay. So there we make the changes, right? Those changes are applied here. So here you are not recompiled your object, you are not touched your source, you are not done any changes in the EMPDET01. You just done the change PF, and whatever the changes you have done in the field reference file, those changes are applied here as well. So when you go to the EMPDET01, DET02, the changes are not applied yet because the changes are there in the EMP-REF, but to apply those changes, you have to just do the change PF on the EMPDET02, because you don't need to touch, you don't need to go here and change the any changes in the source. Instead of that, you can just do the CHGPF for the CHGPF for control V EMPDA2. Okay, so now go and see the run query. RQ enter. Sorry, so for change PF you have to do give the all the details. CHGPF control V F4, and here I have to give the BU buddy 181 and the source file QDD SSRC2 and BU DDY buddy 181. Enter, enter. Okay, so now it is changed, and go and check EMPDA2. Enter. So you can see that employee name, employee number, and employee address, everything is changed. So these values these are picking from the EMP-REF. So this is a field reference file. Okay, instead of declaring the field length and attribute again and again, we'll make one common file. It is having the common fields, and whenever you wanted to use that common field, you can just refer from that file.